Today I'll be reviewing The Bunker, one of those fancy FMV games where the developer makes a movie and then shoves anything that can be called gameplay into it. That being said, I'm going to throw up a spoiler alert. This is going to be a short one for reasons that will be clear to you later, but for those wondering whether or not to buy it, I'm going to offer a resounding no. The only thing I want to know is, why is this a game instead of a movie? I mean, the only thing you do in this game is click the screen. You don't even get to choose which order to click things in either. I tried to mix up sequences throughout the game, but to no avail. Even minor things like checking the radio before taking my B vitamins was not allowed. Kinda like everything had to follow a set script. Also, having live action mixed in with free cursor movements is just a terrible idea. Maybe it's just me, but giving me a magical glowing dot to place where I please during emotional moments is like holding your funeral next to a Chuck E. Cheese's. Sure, it's sad at first, but eventually I'm going to notice the ball pit. I found myself playing with the reticle, hovering it over a dying woman's eyes, mimicking cartoony X's scene in comedy. There's plenty of other times serious moments were made less so by my playing with the mouse, but I'd like to think half the fun is seeing what you can come up with, and any of you that already bought the game, I'll leave to your devices. Another complaint I have is the interactable objects. Early on it isn't much of a problem because if you move your mouse 2 inches in any given direction, you'll hit something you can click whether or not the game will let you progress, but later on you can only interact with things in the order their triggers are flagged. For example, when I'm trying to fix the pipe, I was poking around looking for an object to grab. I could look at a couple of things, but no further than that. Once I found the correct object to use first, only then was an item I had previously tried to interact with available to click. So let's break this plot down piece by piece, because otherwise I could end the review right there, and that wouldn't be any good, would it? It opens up fine enough. We start with the birth of our main protagonist and shortly get to see what his daily life is like. All well and good, except when clicking the screen gets in the way. Eventually his mother dies and he just sorta leaves her there. That's gonna start to smell eventually. But you know what? He was the only child in a bunker of like 30 or so people. He didn't quite have a stable growth period, especially when considering the twist ending, but we'll get to that. Eventually the plot gets going and we need to deal with the radiation leak. This is also where we start to get the flashbacks fleshing out the story. But more importantly, this is where the bunker being a game really hurts it. So we have a radiation leak that will slowly kill John. He needs to go replace some fuses and fix a broken pipe. So you would think John would want to get his ass in gear and solve the problem. But the player can click around looking for achievements and hover over his decomposing mother. The player has absolutely destroyed the pace of the story. This again happens later on when the shit hits the fan and piece by piece the bunker is being flooded by radiation. Great music, great acting, I'm really believing John is in danger, but then I get control and even when not screwing around, I'm poking around the screen looking for what order to click objects in. When there is no consequence for sitting still and doing nothing, there's no tension. I could keep going, but I think you get the point. The gameplay elements of the bunker only serve to harm what would be a pretty decent movie. Alright, let's get this ending over with. So after you go through all the bullshit and find out your mom had you plant some super AIDS bomb and kill everyone so you'd have all the resources to yourself, you get to choose whether or not to stay in the bunker or leave. Now don't get me wrong, the sequence leading up to it was fantastic. Except obviously for the pauses to click the screen. But this is the only real choice you get in the game. So, was a simple leave or stay the whole reason to make this into a game? If you look at your progression, it's completely linear. As mentioned, even minor choices with little to no consequence have to be performed in a particular order to flag progress. The events are following a strict sequence from beginning to end where at the exit you're giving your only choice of the game. I'm sorry, that's not worth turning a movie into a game over. I really wish the game gave me more to work with here, but basically I'm trying to review a movie that randomly hits the pause button. There were times I could lean back in my chair and enjoy the show, but I'd find myself sitting there for like a minute waiting for something to happen before realizing, oh wait, I'm playing a game. That's right, let me move the mouse. I mean seriously, there's a really great performance from John here, and the story caught me by surprise. Everything is here for a good short movie. Just not when you turn it into a game.